And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We got a great show for you today. As always, we are live every single day at noon Eastern. If you want to watch live, head over to takesbyfans.com/watch. If you want to watch but not live, head over to our YouTube channel, Takes by Fans. We post all of our shows and clips of the show there on a daily basis. And if you just want to listen, we are on podcasting apps, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. So however you want to watch or listen, we've got you covered multiple ways. Alrighty, today's a big old Friday, folks. First and foremost, almost Happy New Year, correct? Hopefully you've got a job that you don't have to really work today. No, I mean, that's always good. Everyone was trying to get out of work early on Thursday, and then they don't want to work Friday and all that. And if you are working Friday, that is just truly unfortunate. But today on the show, folks, we got to make our official Week 17 picks. Man, oh man, and we've got some good ones. And I sent out an alert earlier today on my Twitter. Takes by Fans, you can follow us over there. But I believe there is a little bit of a trap bet. Not even a little bit. I think it's a full-on trap bet, folks. And I see y'all actively betting it because the spread has dropped a half a point from yesterday to today when we talked about the line and all that. So I want to give y'all the alert here. It's going to be an official pick. We are going against the trap. It's a bonus pick, but we will give you that information when we make our picks, folks. That's what we try to do here. We like to give you that information. We like to be like, hey, maybe not the best value. And I think we did touch upon it yesterday when we were breaking down the line, but after what I saw, y'all bet it. I slept on the line and all that, and I am ready to declare this a trap bet. So we will talk about that as well. We got to do our NBA Daily 10. We got to walk through our playoff scenario. We, went over the last 2 weeks of the season a little bit earlier in the week on the show. And now that we've got our final playoff teams and their seeding, we are going to walk step by step, game by game through the playoffs to see, heading into Week 17, who the Super Bowl champion is going to be according to us. Now, after Week 17, after Monday's game has been played, we will kind of do the same thing again, walk through Week 18, see if anything changes, and then go through the playoffs off that again, and then we will probably do the same thing after Week 18 and all that. So we've got that today, and then we got a little bit of a Friday news dump segment we're going to do today, where, I save a lot of stories throughout the week that we just don't get time to really talk about. They never really work their way into just our natural talk of sports in general. So there's a couple of stories that I kind of want to touch upon. Maybe we'll spend a minute on them, 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, maybe an hour and a half on one story. Who knows? But there's a couple of stories we do have to touch upon before, Week 17 truly kicks off. So we've got all that today on the show. Great show, packed show, new last show of 2021, folks. So let's go out with a bang, shall we? Shall we go out with a bang, folks? Let's go out with a bang. So here we go. Let's get 10 minutes on the clock here. All right, 10 minutes on the clock. Next 10 minutes of uninterrupted basketball talk of what just happened yesterday in the NBA, and the 10 minutes start right now. All righty, just 4 games on last night. No, only 3 games on because one got postponed because of we all know why. So Warriors at Nuggets was not able to be played yesterday. Womp womps. Only 3 games on last night. We had one bet going on last night, folks. We hit it. Hooray for us. Hooray for y'all for tailing our bet and all that. But we were kind of struggling between 3. The values weren't the greatest last night. They were okay, but we wanted something a little bit more secure to truly bet. So we only stuck with 1. We stayed away from the Cavs +3. We thought, it was okay value. It looked appetizing, but it wasn't great. And then they lose by 17, which, blew my mind. So I'm glad we stayed away from that. We were going to maybe take the Warriors minus. I think they were -3. 3.5, and just once again it wasn't the greatest, and then the game wasn't even played, so we dodged that bullet, and then we settled on the 76ers +5.5, and that's our first matchup up here. 76ers win outright 110-108. They win, or 102. They win by 8. They cover the 5.5, obviously, and we are bingo bango good to go, folks. Man, oh man, we have been killing it in the NBA this entire week, really. So bingo bango, hit our bet. 76 76ers get the big ol' win here, 110-102 over the Nets with Kevin Durant back. So big time game here for the 76ers. And now, once again, this 76ers team is back to kind of the cream of the crop in the Eastern Conference. They started off hot. They dipped a little bit because of injuries in the COVID-19. Then they were still kind of struggling a little bit. Not even struggling. They just weren't as dominant as they were in kind of the first 3 weeks of the season. But they all got healthy. They're reacclimated with each other. The chemistry is definitely there, folks. We saw that last night. And the 76ers are at the 6th seed here in the Eastern Conference. They're 5-5 in their last 10, but a 3-game winning streak. Expect that to increase over the next kind of 10 games. So 76ers are back, folks. We can bet on them. We can swallow points. It's great value. No worries anymore. We are back to betting the 76ers, and I'm all here for it. So 76ers get the win last night. Starting lineup is, kind of classic. They moved Danny Green out of the starting lineup because he was out, so Matisse Thybulle fills in for him at the 3, and he has a basic Danny Green night. 6 points on 5 shots, 0 of 2 from the 3. Not the best defensive effort because that's what Danny Green truly excels at. Matisse Thybulle, a -9 on the floor, and unfortunately, he was the only player, starting or bench player, in the minus category, so not the best night by Matisse Thybulle. But everybody else gets it done, and that's why we love this 76ers team, because their starting lineup is great, and they've got some real great help off the bench. So here we go. Tyrese Maxey, 25 points, 4 assists, 7 rebounds. Back at it. Yes, sir. Man, oh man, those first 2-3 weeks of the season, Tyrese Maxey was absolutely going manic, and now we are back. Are you seeing it? They're back, folks. Seth Curry, 17 points, 6 assists. We get Joel Embiid, 34 points, 7 rebounds. Fantastic. And then Tobias Harris, a little lackluster, 9 points on 28% shooting. Definitely need that to be up a little bit more, but overall the bench got it done last night. Andre Drummond, 10 points, 10 rebounds. We absolutely love that. And then Georges Niang, 9 points, 4 rebounds. So enough for the 76ers to get it done last night. And then for the Brooklyn Nets, Kevin Durant's first game back, 33 points, 4 assists, 6 rebounds, shooting 54%. So Slim Reaper is back. He can miss, a month. He can come back first game and be as efficient as this. So Kevin Durant is obviously great. We all know this. James Harden did his thing last night, triple-double, 33 points, 10 assists, 14 rebounds. Very well done. But unfortunately, we had Patty Mills let us down, and we kind of need Patty Mills to be the third here. No Kyrie Irving. Yes, he can play on the road games because of the vaccine and all that, but at home, which they were last night, he can't play. So we need Patty Mills to be way better, and we've seen Patty Mills be way better. But Patty Mills last night, 5 points on 20% shooting on 10 shots. Ooh, a real letdown last night. We had LaMarcus Aldridge at the 5, and man, LaMarcus Aldridge, folks, and we know he's going to be a key piece to this Nets team if they want to win a ring. We just don't know how long he's going to be able to perform at this high level. He doesn't play like 30 minutes a night, only 27 minutes last night. That's usually what he does, 20, 25 minutes. So LaMarcus Aldridge in the starting lineup, he got it done, folks. 12 points, 8 rebounds, and a +11 on the floor. I mean, going against, Joel Embiid most of the time. So LaMarcus Aldridge still holding his own, and we got to give him his respect. Unfortunately, just Patty Mills let the team down a tad with this poor production on the offensive side. So 76ers get the win, 110-102. 76ers are back, and I am all here for it. All right, next game up is the Bucks at the Magic, and the Bucks get the big old win here. They do cover their spread. I believe it was 14. We didn't really want to swallow all those points, but they do cover it, 136-118 last night. Fantastic. So, Bucks back on track. Obviously, Drew Holiday, 25 points, 7 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks. Fantastic night. Grayson Allen, still a little lackluster offensively. He was a -3 on the floor, and there was no other player on the Bucks team in the starting lineup off the bench that was in the negative category, like we just talked about for the 76ers. So, we need Grayson Allen. Grayson Allen has just been on this constant decline of disappointment, and we want to see him back at a high level. 10, he really only needs to score 10 points a game, honestly, because he is kind of the 5th option out here, but we still need a little bit better than this. Bobby Portis still playing the 5, 11 points, 9 rebounds, fantastic. Giannis, 33 points, 12 rebounds. Y'all know how he does it. And then Chris Middleton, solid night, 22 points, 6 assists. We will absolutely take that. But then look at this bench, folks. Wesley Matthews, 11 points. We get Dante DiVincenzo, 11 points, 9 rebounds. And then DeMarcus Cousins, 15 points, 5 rebounds in only 16 minutes. Man, oh man, they are deep as well. So well done for the Bucks. Absolutely a great team. You know, honest, one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. Bucks, 76ers, man, oh man. All right, and then the Magic, and I got to give the Magic a little bit of credit here. No Cole Anthony over the past couple of games, and they haven't been winning, obviously, but they've been putting up some points. I'll give them their point production has been solid without Cole Anthony, so that is the only compliment we can give this Magic team. But last night, Franz Wagner led the team in scoring, and he usually does, so shout out to Franz Wagner. Without Cole Anthony, it's truly Franz Wagner that gets it done. So Franz Wagner, we give you the shout out here, 20 points, 3 rebounds. We get Wendell Carter Jr., 14 points, 10 rebounds. The bench was solid. RJ Hampton, 15 points off the bench and 5 assists. And then Moritz Wagner, his brother Franz Wagner, gets it done off the bench as well, 19 points. So the Wagner brothers getting it done for the Magic, folks. And that's the only thing we need to talk about. Cole Anthony didn't play last night, so it's on the Wagner brothers. And maybe with Cole Anthony and the Wagner twins, this Magic team can maybe make a chance at the playoffs. I doubt it. They're the 14th seed at the current moment. They are 7 games out from the 13th seed. So to move up 1 seed, they got to win 7 games. So it's not looking the greatest that this Magic team can get into the playoffs here. In the emergence of the Wagner twins, folks, we'll see if that changes when Cole Anthony can get back. I doubt it. So Bucks get the big ol' win, 136-118. All right, and then the last game last night, Cavs at the Wizards, and the Cavs get brought down to earth a little bit. Once again, they've just got no guards anymore because all their guards are getting injured. So what did the Cavs do? They went and traded for Rajon Rondo of the Lakers yesterday. So we'll see how Rajon Rondo can perform with the Cavs, if he can kind of keep up that same level of pace and production, because folks, we have to give so much credit to this Cavs team. They were the 5th seed, 20-15, losing like a guard every single month, but still powering and persevering through, 7-3 in their last 10. So I'm truly hoping Rajon Rondo can come to this Cavs team, make it like nothing ever happened, no injuries ever happened, and him, Evan Mobley, Kevin Love, and Jared Allen can just pull it together. Lauri Markkanen as well, pull it together to just make the playoffs and be competitive in a first-round series. Obviously, we're not expecting this Cavs team to win the championship. We weren't even expecting this Cavs team to win the championship when they had their guards of Darius Garland and Colin Sexton together. But we thought they were playing very well. Definitely outplaying anybody's expectations of what they thought the Cavs would do this season, especially ours. Even though that we are big fans of Jared Allen over here. So I just want to see this Cavs team still be competitive, still win games, still have a really great record, and still compete against the best of the best here in the NBA. So hopefully Rajon Rondo, this is your moment. You weren't really kind of the number one, obviously, point guard with the Lakers coming off the bench, but now you're thrusted into, hey, being the guy again. Hopefully you can kind of channel his inner prime time Rondo, like we all know. So Cavs a little lackluster last night, but overall not terrible. Kevin Love, 24 points, 11 rebounds, filling in for Jared Allen in the starting lineup. That was really impressive, something to build upon. And then Evan Mobley, who's always freaking consistent and fantastic. Shout out to the rookie. 21 points, 5 rebounds, solid there. Everything else was a little lackluster, like we know. That is our 10 minutes, but we got to close up here, so let's do that. So Cavs, overall, just missing their pieces, all the COVID, all the injuries. Unfortunate. And then for the Wizards, getting back on track because Bradley Beal was back in the lineup. And who has a good game because Bradley Beal's back? Kyle Kuzma. So once again, Kyle Kuzma, he's not a number 1. He's not really the greatest number 2. We count him as a 3 at best. And, Kyle Kuzma last night, 25 points, 10 rebounds. He shot 64%. Great night. He was a plus 18 on the floor, the highest on the team. So that was all great by Kyle Kuzma, but he couldn't do any of this when Bradley Beal was out. So we could still be a little impressed with Kyle Kuzma, like a tad impressed, but we're not going overblown like Kyle Kuzma's good. We're not going to say that. You're good because everybody else is good. Does that make you good? You were good against a Cavs team that's shorthanded. We've got to see a little bit better than that by Kyle Kuzma. But Bradley Beal last night, first game back, 29 points, led the team in scoring, 10 assists, 6 rebounds. He shot 56%. Very, very well done. Daniel Gafford at the 5, 11 points, 9 rebounds. And then off the bench, Denny Avdija, folks, 13 points, 6 rebounds. Not efficient from 3, 1 of 5 from the 3, but we'll definitely take those 13 points. So, Wizards get the win 110-93 over the Cavs. Alrighty, that was all the NBA from last night. Let's see if we can find any great value here today to see if we can roll over our winnings from last night. Maybe do a little parlay tonight if the value is right, folks. That's all we are looking for, if the value is right. And there's a ton of games on tonight in the NBA, so we may be able to make our picks. There's also NBA day games on tonight, so maybe we've got an entire day of betting NBA. Let's see where the value is and if we feel confident in any of these spreads. So here we go. First game up at 110, folks, at 110. So while we're talking, it's still going to be going on most likely, or it will just be starting most likely. Suns at the Celtics at 1:10 p.m. on NBC Sports, folks. Suns at Celtics. Or no, this is in Boston. They don't even put this on TV? These games aren't even on TV? Are we serious? Is the 3:30 game? No. NBC Chicago. What are we doing? You get 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock NBA games and you don't put them on national television on New Year's Day? I get that there's college football on that's going to dominate the ratings. I get it, but still, there's still people that like NBA and don't watch football? Damn. Disappointing. I wanted like 4 screens on. I wanted sports all throughout. It's so lame. I don't know what the hell. I mean, there's been like no NBA on national television this week. What is going on with that? Because of the bowl games? Okay, I get it. But there's still TNT. Put a game on TNT. Damn. Oh, see, you got me fired up here. But let's get back to these games here to make some money. Okay, here we go. Suns at Celtics. Suns -3.5. Celtics +3.5. I'm liking the Celtics -3.5. What is going on with that spread? Well, we get all these outs. We get JaVale McGee out, Jay Crowder out, and DeAndre Ayton out. So they're going to have no bigs there for the Suns tonight. Truly unfortunate. And then for the Celtics, Enes Kanter is still out. Enes Freedom is out. Dennis Schroeder's out. Jason Tatum is out. And Aaron Nesmith. So it's going to be, you know, lackluster bigs, Robert Williams and Jaylen Brown versus no big of the Suns. So Suns -3.5, it seems like good value, folks. We don't bet on this Celtics team. They don't bring anything to the table. And Jaylen Brown, he does not win games. He can put up a nice performance, but because Jaylen Brown has a good performance, usually means everybody else doesn't. So no Dennis Schroeder. Jaylen Brown's going to be ball dominant. Didn't he just put up like 30 shots the other game and they still lost the game? I mean, he does not translate to wins, folks. So, yeah, their last meeting, here it is. Against the Timberwolves, they lose 108-103. So, I'm going to swallow the 3.5 here with the Suns. Yes, they're going to have no big, but they've got Chris Paul and Devin Booker, where the Celtics only have Jaylen Brown. I'll take the Celtics all day. We'll swallow the 3.5. All right, then we get the Bulls at the Pacers. Bulls -3, Pacers +3. I'm loving the value here, early game windows. What the heck? There's got to be some big outs here for the Bulls. Bulls only -3. What is that? Here's who's out for the Bulls. Alex Caruso and Lonzo Ball, but I still get our main 3, Vooch. We get Zach LaVine. We get DeMar DeRozan, and we only have to swallow 3 against the Pacers? Oh, of course, we're going to take that. Bulls -3 on the road. Yes. Oh, my God. Great value so far. And these were supposed to be the games on television. Damn, we could have watched the money pour into our wallets. Unfortunate. Alrighty, let's keep going here. This could be a big parlay, folks, if we are already finding great value like this. Here we go. Let's keep going. Mavericks at the Kings. Mavs -1, Kings +1. Once again, this Kings team, we're not going to bet this Kings team until after the trade deadline to truly see what they want their team to be and all that. And for this Mavericks team, still no Luka Doncic. Is Luka Doncic back? No, he's still out. So there's no value here in any of these teams. We stay away from it. We get the Heat at the Rockets, and we don't bet this Rockets team, one of the worst teams in the NBA. They've got a good big. And if you just have a good big, we saw what happens with the Magic when you kind of had 2 good bigs of Vucevic and Aaron Gordon. You don't win any games and you're not even really competitive. So we don't bet the Rockets here. And then for the Heat, there's just too many outs still of, injuries and COVID-19. We get Jimmy Butler is a game time decision. Kyle Lowry is still out. Bam Adebayo is still out. Duncan Robinson is out. PJ Tucker is out. So their beef, their physicality is all out. We can't bet them. Not going to swallow 3.5. Not great value. Then we get the Hawks or the Cavs. We don't bet back-to-back, so we're staying away from the Cavs here. Hawks plus 1.5. Real interesting value. There must be some outs here. Trae Young out. Who out? Or is Trae Young just the only one playing? Seems like Trae Young is the only one playing. Bogdanovich is out. Danilo Gallinari is out. John Collins is out. TLC is out. Kevin Huerter's out. So no great value there. We'll stay away from it. We get the Clippers at the Raptors next. Clippers plus 7. Raptors minus 7. Paul George is still out for the Cavs or for the Clippers, so we will stay away from that. And we don't know what the heck this Raptors team is kind of going through. Can't put our finger on what this Raptors team is overall, so we're not going to swallow 7 there. No way. Then we get the Spurs at the Grizzlies. Grizzlies minus 5.5. Spurs plus 5.5. No bettability with the Spurs. They've got no superstars, so nobody can take over the game there. There's no bettability there. And then for the Grizzlies, we get Dylan Brooks out, Xavier Tillman out. So it's going to be John Morant doing his thing, coming off that big Lakers win. They probably get the win. Don't want to really push it here. We'll see if the Grizzlies can get the win. Don't really want to swallow 5.5 with them. All right, and then the last 3 games, we get the Knicks at the Thunder. Knicks minus 4.5, Thunder plus 4.5. All righty, Knicks minus 4.5. This Knicks team, once again, Kemba Walker still having a problem with their guards. Kemba Walker had 2 great games, and then back to being classic Kemba Walker of why they did not play him for a solid month straight, because he's not it. He's not the guy. And then Evan Fournier, I mean, geez Louise, can you step up for once in your career? Geez, man. Derrick Rose is still out, so we're definitely staying away from this one. Oh, and Julius Randle is out. Man, oh man, definitely staying away from that. That's their best player. Staying away from betting the Knicks, and we've got no bettability on this Thunder team. No thank you. All right, then we get the Timberwolves at the Jazz. Timberwolves plus 12.5, Jazz minus 12.5. Is the big 3 back here for the T-Wolves? What do we got? D'Angelo Russell out, Karl Anthony Towns out, and Anthony Edwards is a game-time decision. We're not going to bet on one of the big 3 here. And we know the Jazz are deep, but we're not going to swallow 12.5 here when we've got 2 great values already. And then the last game of the night, the Blazers at the Lakers. Blazers plus 5.5, Lakers minus 5.5. Rondo is not even on the team anymore, so obviously he's out. LeBron's the game-time decision. Anthony Davis is still out, and Kendrick Nunn is still out. And then for the Blazers, we get CJ McCollum still out, Nurkic out, and Anthony Simons out, so it's only going to be Lillard by himself out there. LeBron, can he get it done? He can get it done, but can the supporting cast get it done? That is, the question mark. So we won't swallow 5.5 here for the Lakers, and we know there's no bettability on this Blazers team, even with the 5.5 points. So, alrighty, the first 2 games, best games, Suns minus 3.5, Bulls minus 3, going with another little 2-teamer here, feeling great about it. We've been great all week here, folks. Suns minus 3.5, Bulls minus 3. Let's make some ball-dropping money, shall we? Alrighty, that is all the NBA we had to go over for today. So now let's shift gears to the NFL and start with our Friday news dump. We've been kind of collecting stories all week here, and there's some stuff that I still want to talk about of things that we have not been able to get to or bring up or mention throughout the week. So let's go through all these stories here, spend a little bit of time on it, and see what's been going around here in the NFL off the field. So here we go. Well, let's start here with who's activated this week off the COVID-19 list. Now, obviously, the last 3 weeks here in the NFL and even in the NBA, COVID has been going absolutely crazy, but a lot of people are coming back this week, so it's great. There's still some players out this week. Unfortunately, we got a high-profile name that just was out today that we'll bring up, but these are the players coming back this week. Dalvin Cook, running back for the Vikings, good to go this week. Quentin Nelson, good to go. Taysom Hill, which is great. They don't have to go with Ian Brooke, who's got PTSD from getting destroyed after destroyed after destroyed by that Dolphins defense. So the Saints against the Panthers, we've got a competent quarterback, and y'all know what we're going to be betting this week, okay? So Taysom Hill is good to go. Demario Davis good. Taylor Lewan good. Joey Bosa's good. So hopefully the Chargers can get back on track. They've got their edge rusher back. It could be not a good day. What do they got? The Broncos this week? Chargers, Broncos, is my memory correct? Chargers, Broncos, yes, sir. So, Drew Lock getting chased around by Joey B. Alrighty. We get Corey Linsley back. Brandon Cooks back for the Texans, and that's great for Davis Mills getting his number one receiver back after he already got great repetition, I should say, and chemistry with his other receivers last week, winning, slinging around the ball. What was it? Only 5 incompletions. Brandon Cooks getting it done. I mean, man, oh man. So this Texans team, no Jimmy Garoppolo, going with Trey Lance. I think we like what the value is, folks. Once again, we're not going to spoil the picks, but I think y'all can kind of go. Here we go. Who else is in this week? Ramondre Stevenson. Oh, thank goodness. That's why the Patriots lost last week. No Ramondre Stevenson. He's back. Expect the Patriots to get back on track this week. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, good to go for the Packers. Malik Hooker, Justin Houston, Tyus Bowser, Cole Beasley, and Gabriel Davis all activated off the COVID-19 list. And then it doesn't say it here, but also the Colts linemen are all good to go this week as well. So a lot of big high-profile names for, some contending teams are all good to go this week. Fantastic. All right, hang on. I got this. We got to take a little bit of a sidetrack here because on Twitter, there is a trending hashtag here, hashtag rule out. So Matt Rule, is everybody clamoring for this man to be fired? Because absolutely, that's exactly what it should be. So everybody is saying rule out here on Twitter, and that is exactly it. All right, what is going on? Somebody said, I read the article, the man is a sociopath. Was there a article that dropped about Matt Rule being crazy? What is going on? What is going on? Where is this article that people are tweeting about? This guy tweets, so the team has regressed under Rule because I swore in college he had one bad season, the first one, and then he improved the next two. All right, so that man's kind of advocating for Matt Rule. Okay. All right. I'm gonna have to dive into this after the show to see what's going on with Matt Rule. But yes, he should be fired. Y'all are correct here. Rule out. I stand by that hashtag, truly. All right, back to the news here of now who is out with COVID-19, and this one's a little unfortunate for this team overall. Vikings quarterback Kirk Cousins is out for Sunday's game against the Packers. Big game, all that. Vikings obviously fighting for their playoff life. And they needed to win this game. Obviously, they need to win out and a little bit of help to get into the playoffs here. But no Kirk Cousins. So now they're going to have to probably rely on rookie quarterback Kellen Mond. Is the man good? Can he provide what the Vikings need to win offensively? They'll have Dalvin Cook and Alexander Madison. I'm sure we'll get a hefty load as well because I'm sure it's going to be very, very run-heavy, running back by committee. And we'll see what Kellen Mond can do here, rookie quarterback for the Vikings, in a must-win game. Also, let's see how it affected the line, folks, in the NFL. We knew it was Packers +7. Or Packers -7, Vikings -7 yesterday when we predicted and reacted to the line here. And we said that was bad value because Vikings, they blow games and all that. They don't win the close ones. And the Packers never blow out a team. So anything, one basically on, the ceiling of one possession, -7, that's nothing good to take. So let's see, with Kirk Cousins being out, let's see if they put the game back because about an hour before the show, the line was taken off because of the news. Let's see if DraftKings in Vegas had time to put the spread back up here with the adjusted line. So here we go. Is it back up? Yes, it is. And wow, it jumped from Packers -7 to Packers -13.5. Sheesh. We weren't going to take this game anyway, and we're definitely not taking it with this. We definitely, if you want to bet this game, this will be our advice if you want to bet this game. If there's something just nagging at you, like, hey, I've got to bet this game, I stay away from this. This is probably one of the few games to truly stay away from this week. There's not many that you truly have to stay away from, but I would say this is the game to stay away from. Packers don't win by double digits, even with picking off Baker Mayfield 3 times in the defense smothering him. They still only win close 2 points. So Kellen Mond, maybe the Vikings rely heavy on the run game. Close game overall. Aaron Rodgers still a little banged up with that toe. He's not at 100%. So this still could be a close game overall. So our advice, if you have to take this game, I think the play is Vikings plus 13.5 points. That's a lot of points here in a must-win game. Vikings defense is still okay. Running game is still pretty solid out here, so they still could get good, decent field position, and the running game can chew out the clock for a shorter, lower scoring game. So Vikings with the points is honestly seeming like some good value overall. And if it does ever get to 14, anything over 14, that's when it becomes fantastic value. So we'll keep an eye on this one for the next 2 days, and we'll definitely talk about this one a little bit more in our pregame show. On game day, maybe Vikings plus 14. I think I may be a little tempted to take that. I'm not going to lie. So Vikings plus 13.5, I think, is the only play in the game this week. So we'll see what Kellen Mond can do. All right, next story up here, and I wouldn't say this, but here we go. Dan Campbell open to Jared Goff as the Lions starting quarterback in 2022, saying, quote, "I don't see why not." You don't see why not? Because I've got, 11, 12 reasons why I definitely see not here of why you start Jared Goff next season. Alrighty, let's break it down. This season, yes, Dan Campbell gets credit for how the team was competitive in really every single game this season, folks. Yes, they didn't win that much. They won a couple of games. They had 2 wins. Fantastic. Congratulations. But they were always really, within one possession for the majority of their losses. So Dan Campbell gets credit for that because it's year 1, his first time as a head coach. But now next season, he doesn't kind of get the easy kind of congratulations and the pats on the back, like crying at the podium after a close loss, just energizing the entire team, even though they're not winning games and all that. All that kind of praise goes away next season, because now next season you have to start winning. You have to win in the league. I don't care about your personality. I don't care if you're the greatest person overall. If you're not winning games, nobody cares. So Dan Campbell gets the free pass. He gets all the roses thrown at him. Everybody kind of claps for him. Oh, what a great season. Not a great roster overall. First time. Lions have been trashed for the last 20 years, so we're not expecting anybody 1 year alone to fix it themselves, but all that easy praise instantly vanishes next season if you're not winning. So Jared Goff does not win. We know this. Jared Goff has won 1 game without Sean McVay, okay? That's not good. So Dan Campbell, don't start Jared Goff next season. You must start rebuilding. You must start looking for the guy, because we know Jared Goff is not the guy. We've seen him struggle time and time again in the red zone, not being able to move the ball, barely putting up points, not looking consistent at all, folks. If they score, it's just like, oh, wow, we scored. We don't expect them after a touchdown drive. They're not like, yeah, we can go on another touchdown drive. It's like, all right, let's try and get a first down again. Like, it starts all over. So Dan Campbell, please, maybe you can say this because he's still your quarterback. That's fine if you're just saying these words, but truly do not believe in them and truly look for a replacement at the quarterback position. There's some good quarterbacks. I'm sure Gardner Minshew is going to be on the market, and that's a fantastic quarterback, a bridge quarterback at the minimum that can turn into a great starting quarterback for a franchise. So Dan Campbell, keep that in mind. So this is the exact quote here by Dan Campbell saying, quote, "Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. He's playing pretty good football right now. I mean, yes, right now, the very last game where he had 5 incompletions, that was the best game. Yes, he's playing decent, pretty good football right now. But other than that, no, he's not. So hopefully Dan Campbell doesn't fall in and start believing his own words here, because I'm not buying Jared Goff as any sort of starting quarterback. And Dan Campbell, the media, they're not going to be as pleasant. I mean, everybody's been gushing over Dan Campbell, and I'm not going to knock the media for doing that. I understand it and all that, and I still give Dan Campbell a lot more credit than what I thought I was going to have to at this point in the season. But next season, winning is truly going to be all that matters. And Jared Goff is not a winner. We know this. We see this on a week-by-week, game-by-game basis. Now, if Jared Goff slings the ball around these last 2 weeks, which he can't because he's out this week, I think that's the next story we got going on, or it's somewhere in here. But Jared Goff's not playing this week, so he can't be like, well, I closed out the season really good. I looked really good. Maybe buy himself a couple of games into next season. We're not going to see him at the end of the season here, so he can't kind of erase all the garbage that he's put up this entire year. I'm not buying Jared Goff, Dan, and I hope you don't either, but we'll see. All right, next story up here. Patriots offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels not concerned about Mac Jones hitting a rookie wall, and I think that's right. I think Mac Jones, he's getting, I don't understand where people are really kind of, why people are talking about him like he's been in the league for like 5 years. This is a rookie quarterback, and he's looking like the most poised, comfortable rookie quarterback this season. He's getting way more production than Trevor Lawrence. He's looking, honestly, almost like the best rookie quarterback here this season. So, and people talk about him like he's been in the league. He has like one bad game. Remember, everybody was so big on Mac Jones. It was like such a sudden flip, and I don't understand it. It happened overnight, a sudden flip. He loses like one game while looking decent here, and once again, we have to stress the talent level he has around him. It's the, well, I can't say it's the worst because the Jaguars' talent, weapons and pieces around Trevor Lawrence are not good either. But, I mean, Mac Jones is still getting it done, and we still see some really good throws, and I would say 60% of Mac Jones' weekly throws are all really, really good. 40% are all kind of okay, good, bad, trash. I mean, they're all kind of okay. But I mean, I don't see the knocks that everybody sees of Mac Jones. I think he can make almost all the throws. He doesn't have like an elite big arm or anything like that, but it's not a weak arm or anything like that. So I just don't understand the media's narrative on Mac Jones. I think he's playing at an above average rookie level right now that has this Patriots team back on the map. Yes, I know it's Bill Belichick and the defense, a part of that, but it's still offensively Mac Jones getting it done. And we've seen some big old throws by him, slings all throughout a game and all that, getting it done. So I'm still giving Mac Jones his credit and his dues. We are still on a Mac Jones train, if you will. But let's see what offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels has to say and see if we agree or if he is agreeing with the national media of calling Mac Jones trash now. I guess they're on that Mac Jones is trash now. But here we go. Let's read the lead up right here. Despite his struggles coming late in the season, offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels dismissed the issue being any sort of rookie wall that Jones hit, saying, quote, "He's doing fine. No concern on that. Each rookie kind of handles that differently. There's always a stretch during the course of the middle of the season that's a little bit new to them because when you count the preseason starting in July, usually that happens somewhere towards the end of October, middle of November, somewhere in there. He's gotten through that. He understands what he needs to do and does a great job with his regimen, takes care of his body, his preparation. He's learned how to manage his time and what he needs to allocate it towards." So, Mac Jones is getting it done off the field. He's looking pretty solid on the field, and Josh McDaniels is showing no sign of concern for Mac Jones in this offense moving forward. They've got a real easy opponent this week to try and get back on track, to try and make the media once again kind of flip-flop and be like, oh my God, Mac Jones is the best rookie quarterback that there is ever in history, and he should be rookie of the year and all that. All right, we get one more quote here. Yes, one more quote. Let's read the lead up here. "The long grind of the season is taxing on all players, especially with an added 17th game this season. But the dreaded, quote, rookie wall isn't the reason for Jones's recent struggles. He's faced two good defenses who have made life difficult." Quote here by Josh McDaniels. there's got to be a balance between your preparation, taking care of your body, getting your rest, continuing to train, and doing the things that keep you strong and healthy, and keeping your mind healthy as well. It's always a process. I think Mac's done a really good job of it. He's ready to go. He wants to try and finish the season strong. And yeah, once again, he's just been facing good defenses. The Bills defense last week, really a good defense. So I just think we're kind of blowing the Mac Jones situation. Once again, he is still a rookie, but y'all are talking about him like he's a fifth-year player. Y'all are putting more pressure on Mac Jones than you are of really kind of Josh Allen. I mean, Josh Allen has just gotten good. He's just been really at the level of kind of what we saw last season. So where was that same energy? Y'all are still gushing over Cam Newton. Why? I mean, y'all should be hard on Cam Newton. Why? That's exactly it. Why are y'all hard on Mac Jones, but y'all are not hard on Cam Newton? I don't get it. Y'all are hard on Tua. Why? He's out there winning and slinging the ball. I just don't get who y'all are hard on for context there. Phrasing, I should say. I just don't get it, folks. I just don't get it with y'all sometimes. And Mac Jones is one of those times where I just don't get it with y'all. We believe in him. He can get it done, and he's still looking like one of the best rookie quarterbacks so far this season. Alrighty, next one up here, and this is what I love to see, this is what I love to hear, and I'm sure I'm going to love to read what they're trying to do here. Here we go. Rams plan to keep riding, quote, choo-choo train, Sony Michel. Yes, you cannot abandon the run game. I don't care that we're in, 2021 of the NFL, and quarterbacks are slinging the ball 50 times a game, and it's a passing league. Teams don't even want to carry a running back anymore on the roster. You still need the running game. That's why the Buffalo Bills, I honestly, I've been thinking about this one. I know we put the Bills in Super Bowl contender category this week based on solely the Josh Allen performance because it was very, very, very great. But you need the running game, and that's what the Bills are missing. They've got the defense, they've got Josh Allen, but the rushing attack, you still need it in the league. The Rams can't get away from it. The Colts definitely can't get away from it. So I'm glad that Sean McVay is still keeping Sony Michel a huge focal point of the offense, even though Matthew Stafford's having his best season ever, and that they just got OBJ, who's, getting a touchdown almost every single game for the Rams here. This is fantastic. Great news by Sean McVay and the Rams. And do we have this Rams team in Super Bowl? Yeah, okay. All right, I was going to have to add them to Super Bowl contender if we did not already have the Rams there, but they are the first team that we did put in there. So this is absolutely great. Let's quickly see if we get any news, any quotes here. This is defensive lineman, a quote. I don't care about that. I want to see Sean McVay. We got any Sean McVay quotes here about the running game? Does not see Stafford. Okay, let's see what Stafford says about the running game. For Stafford, it's Michel's ability to plow through defenders that makes him so tough to take down. Saying quote by Matthew Stafford, nobody really wants to tackle that guy on the second level. He does a great job of playing low, giving not much to hit. Sometimes it looks like there's not much room to run. Then our O-line guys strain a little bit more up front, finish a block, and he slides through a crease and he makes a nice run. So Matthew Stafford loves Sony Michel's running, and we know whatever Matthew Stafford loves, Sean McVay's going to be a guest. Whatever you need, whatever you want, I got it for you, because that's the great coach of Sean McVay, a true player's coach, and just an overall great energy and a great mind overall there. Once again, shout out to Sean McVay. What else do we got? All right, let's hear from Sony Michel now. Let's hear from the man here. Since week 13, Michel's 322 yards after contact trails only Jonathan Taylor's 410, which would have only trailed Derrick Henry's like 700 if he was still playing, unfortunately. He's also tied with Taylor for most 10-plus yard runs over that span with 11. So we know Jonathan Taylor, he's in the MVP discussion, and rightfully so, but I can't give it to Jonathan Taylor because y'all didn't give it to Derrick Henry last season. It's unfortunate, Jonathan Taylor, but if anybody's getting an MVP, it's Derrick Henry, and Derrick Henry should still be the MVP this year, even though he only played 7 games or something like that. So I'm sorry, Jonathan Taylor, but I can't give you my MVP vote. I would like to see a running back win it, but once again, if any running back is winning it, it's still Derrick Henry. So let's not get, kind of crazy. But quote here by Sony Michel, that's the goal. That's kind of the goal as running back. The offensive line blocks. You may gain 5 yards without being touched, but after someone touches you, how many yards do you gain? So Sony Michel wants the smoke. He wants the contact. He's eager for it. He's waiting for that contact to come because that's the goal as the running back. Yeah, anybody can run without being touched, but what happens when you get knocked right in the mouth? What happens when you lower that shoulder for the 20th time a game? Jonathan Taylor's out here running 30 times a game. Derrick Henry's out here running 32 plus times a game. Sony Michel, he wants to keep running and punching you in the mouth and keep on trucking. Man, oh man, I'm love everything we hear. I love this Rams team, folks. Everybody says exactly what I want to hear. I love it. And here we go. Now we get the Sean McVay quote. It's only a sentence long. Let's see if it's good. Here we go with the lead up. With Darrell Henderson going on IR and Cam Akers' status uncertain as he comes off an Achilles injury, mind-blowingly quick, truly mind-blowingly quick. I mean, he tore his ACL at training camp preseason. And then he's already back before the season ends, the regular season ends, and he still may play this regular season. Absolutely crazy. But the Rams will need to lean on Michel, who has proven a perfect fit in Sean McVay's offense. Now, once again, before we read this quote, this is fantastic because Cam Akers could come back here and Sean McVay could be like, well, Sony Michel, thank you for your service, but we're going to go back with Cam. He was the starter here, and he will continue to be the starter since he's healthy. But Sean McVay still rocking with Cam Akers. Love it. Here's the quote. I think there's certain players, they bring a certain toughness to your team. Sony's done that, so he's bringing that physicality to the offense. We know, OBJ doesn't bring any physicality. Matthew Stafford's not the most physical quarterback, and, their favorite target, Cooper Kupp, he's a shifty guy. He's not out there running into guys, setting up the blocks. He's great. Don't get us wrong. He's one of the best receivers in the game, but there really is no physicality in the pieces, the weapons here offensively for the Rams, but Sony Michel is it, folks. So, man, oh man, Rams are true Super Bowl contenders, and they're still ready to rock with Sony Michel. Love that. What a move by the Rams to get him from the Patriots real early on in the season because of their running back troubles early on and the way that Matthew Stafford's playing. Sony Michel coming into his own every single week here. Man, oh man, Rams are truly the team to beat in the NFC. And, big game this week with the Rams, a big game last week facing the Vikings and getting the win. And then another solid game this week with the Rams facing the Ravens. And we'll see how that goes. We got to talk about that game because, Lamar Jackson and all that. But Sony Michel, all good to go and looking fantastic for the Rams. All right, next story up here. The Jaguars and I don't like the Jaguars doing this, but I love that this man is back at the forefront of coaching after 1 year off that he really shouldn't have had a year off anyway, but unfortunate. So here we go. The Jaguars will interview Super Bowl winning former Eagles head coach Doug Pederson on Thursday, the first interview as they tried to replace head coach Urban Meyer. Now, Doug Pederson, yes, he is the coach, folks. He's such a great head coach. We got to remind y'all, folks. We got to remind y'all how great of a head coach Doug Pederson is, folks. He is a winner. He wins immediately. Here we go. Doug Pederson came to the Eagles in 2016. The year before Doug Pederson got there, the Eagles went 7-9. Doug Pederson's first season, they go 7-9. Doug Pederson's second season, they win the Super Bowl. They go 13-3 and win the Super Bowl. Now remember, this is with Carson Wentz, always in and out, injured, out. Playoff start, out, can't go, has to rely on backup quarterback Nick Foles to win the Super Bowl. So instantly winning as he gets there. Next season, after winning the Super Bowl, they lose in the division round after going 9-7. Then they lose in the wild card round going 9-7. But once again, it's Carson Wentz, always injured here, and he's still able to get to the playoffs, win, have a winning season and all that. Then his last season, they go 4-11, 4-11-1. And once again, Carson Wentz, they bench him, Jalen Hurts, all that going into it. And then Doug Pederson gets fired because they're just moving on. New quarterback, new head coach. It was just time to move on. Unfortunately, I didn't agree with the decision. They should have got rid of Carson Carson Wentz, but kept Doug Pederson for Jalen Hurts. I think Doug Pederson is a great young quarterback coach. Now, that's why him interviewing for the Jaguars could be good, because Doug Pederson with Trevor Lawrence, yes, I would love to see that. But what I would love to see a little bit more, I think, is Doug Pederson with Gardner Minshew. I think they should go to a team together. It may be hard to kind of finagle. Why does that not sound right? Finagle. It may be hard to finagle because Doug Pederson, well, he can go wherever he wants, but he needs obviously a head coach vacancy. And then, Gardner Minshew needs to get traded off of the Eagles currently. So a little tough there, but I think they can get it done. And if they do, Doug Pederson with Gardner Minshew, I think that's the perfect head coach quarterback combo. But Doug Pederson and Trevor Lawrence could definitely suffice. But either way, I need Doug Pederson back in the league. Maybe with Daniel Jones. Maybe he goes to the Giants. Get that dude out of there, the special teams coordinator. Get that dude off the head coaching spot and get Doug Pederson with Daniel Jones so we can truly see what Daniel Jones can be as a quarterback. Doug Pederson can get the best out of them. He got the best out of Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz is not looking as good on the Colts as he did with the Eagles. And yes, they still have Frank Reich, who was, with the Eagles and the Colts here. But Carson Wentz, we don't even want him throwing the ball. We weren't saying that in Philadelphia with Carson Wentz. We were like, yeah, we still want Carson Wentz to be the guy. He just can't stay healthy. So Doug Pederson, man, oh man, I want to see that man back in the league, hopefully sooner rather than later. All right, and then Aaron Rodgers rekindling his connection with, organization, management, and all that. We know that was kind of the biggest reason why Aaron Rodgers did not want to play with the Packers anymore. But Aaron Rodgers earlier this week on general manager Brian Gutekunst saying, quote, "I've enjoyed being part of conversations that directly affect my job," which I talked about in the offseason. He truly did. Turtle Rodgers coming out of his shell. That's why he's on the wall behind us. And Brian's taken the lead in that, and I do appreciate the way our relationship has grown. So a couple things to break down here. Aaron Rodgers saying it outrightly for us. I've enjoyed being part of the conversation that directly affects my job. Having some say, not 100% say, and that's not what Aaron Rodgers wants. Tom Brady doesn't get 100% say, so Aaron Rodgers should never get 100% say. No players, in my opinion, should get 100% say, but they should get a really good hearing, and they should be able to make the argument, make cases for things that do affect their job. They have earned that right. I mean, Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady are, classified as the greatest quarterback of all time. Obviously, we're not letting Baker Mayfield influence that much, player personnel and all that. He should still have a little say. We're not saying any quarterback shouldn't have any say, but I mean, Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady should. I mean, their words should really carry a lot of weight. Couple of Super Bowls trophies worth of weight, if you know what I'm saying. And then the other thing that really jumps off with this quote, saying Brian's taken the lead in that. It's not Aaron Rodgers saying, hey, can I sit in on this meeting? Can I tell y'all something? It's Brian kind of being like, yo, Aaron, what do you think about this? Hey, Aaron, I heard y'all. I heard you speak. Hey, you want to come in and sit down in this meeting? Or, hey, you want to have a discussion? Hey, Aaron, what do you think about this? Hey, Aaron, I want to run this by you. So it's Brian Gutekunst going out there and actively being the one that's taking the lead in the discussion. And that's fantastic that he's truly trying to mend the relationship and keep Aaron Rodgers here. So now, early on in the season, we were still saying that this was going to be Aaron Rodgers last year in Green Bay, but because of this quote right here, honestly, I think Aaron Rodgers is going to stay in Green Bay. I think this is a very, very good quote here about the overall temperature in the organization here with the whole Aaron Rodgers and the management. So that's fantastic. But then we get this by Aaron Rodgers saying, quote, Aaron Rodgers on retiring after the 2021 season saying, quote, I wouldn't rule that out. Now that's a little interesting as well. Would Aaron Rodgers truly retire? We see what Tom Brady's doing in his old age and all that. And we know Aaron Rodgers is probably envious of that and trying to replicate that or one up Tom Brady because that's Aaron Rodgers. He wants to be the greatest. And I think I don't think that's controversial to say that Aaron Rodgers truly wants to be recognized as the greatest quarterback of all time. And to do that, he needs a couple more rings. Honestly, if he gets 2 more rings, I could put Aaron Rodgers in the greatest of all time number one discussion. You could make the argument, and I could definitely agree with that. But I definitely have to see probably 2 more rings to compete with Brady. So Aaron Rodgers, why would he retire after this season? Now, if he wins the Super Bowl and goes out on top, he may retire. That could definitely be great for his legacy. Be like, hey, I retired during a little bit, short of my prime. I still had some great years left, but I'm going to retire on my own, win the ring, get out of here. And then, everybody's just kind of wondering, being like, well, Aaron Rodgers could have won one more. And then, that kind of affects the greatest of all time argument, because we still have these years where we can kind of question and be like, well, he could have won another ring and all that. I don't think it's going to help his argument. I would probably be actively voicing against that part, but I could definitely see that being a part of the discussion, being like, hey, he still left a couple of great years out there and he just went out on his own. That's some baller shit right there. So let's see this full quote here by Aaron Rodgers here. Here we go, saying, quote, I wouldn't rule that out. I think that I'm just enjoying this season for this season. I think that playing next year will definitely be in the thought process. One of the things, wanting to not be a bum on the way out and still be able to play, I think, is important to me. And that's what we hear all the time by these quarterbacks, exiting the league and all that. They just want to be able to play at a high level. And if they can still play at a high level, they are still going to play. Obviously, Big Ben, he's kind of forced out because he can't play at that high level anymore. Obviously, as we see, Tom Brady can still play at that high level, and that's why he is still playing. Drew Brees, I thought he could have gone one more year, but all the injuries just kind of a little bit too much for him. So Aaron Rodgers, as long as he can play, I'm sure he's going to play. So we'll see if he's playing for Green Bay or another team, seeing if he retires, seeing if he goes out on top with a Super Bowl ring this season. But first, you got to win the ring. And for that, I don't know if Aaron Rodgers has that kind of clutchness in him. All right, last 2 things quickly here that I don't even want to spend that much time on, because we got to get into other things on the show here. Once again, we just go late all the time, folks. But here we go. Kyler Murray saying, quote, I don't buy into the whole, quote, cloud over us as the Cardinals struggled on the stretch. Well, you better put up or shut up this week. I mean, this is a big week to win against the Cowboys to get back on track. So, Kyler Murray, if you truly don't buy into the whole cloud over us, then go out there and beat the Dallas Cowboys Walk of Fame defense. We'll see if he can do it. And then the last one right here, Chiefs defensive coordinator Speaks Spagnuolo on Joe Burrow saying, quote, this may sound crazy, but I see a young Tom Brady. This guy does everything. Now, we know Joe Burrow's great, and we know the league's in great hands with these young quarterbacks. Absolutely. But I think this may play into, once again, we hinted at the top of the show, a little bit of a trap bet this week. And once again, everybody gushing over Joe Burrow in the media, Chiefs defensive coordinator who they're facing this season, gushing over the second-year young gun, comparing him to the greatest of all time. I think it's all just playing in the narrative of a potential trap bet this week, and we'll talk about that a little bit more in our next segment, which is coming up right now. So those are all the stories that we needed to go over and talk about for today, and really kind of for the week. So now, let's get into it, folks. How can we make money week 17 in the NFL? Well, I got you covered, folks, because we've got 6 official picks here with a 7th bonus trap stay away from bet that we will talk about. But here we go. We do 6 picks every single week, folks. We do 3 locks. You can bet whatever you want on these. These are locks. They will hit. It doesn't matter. Bet your house. Bet everything that you got. These are locks. These will hit. And then we do 3 99% guarantees. We still love these picks. We still love these bets. You can still, bet pretty heavily on these. But we can see maybe, potentially, possibly one small thing that kind of derails, potentially, possibly the bet, and we lose. So, last week, we didn't do our kind of classic 3 locks, 3 99% guarantees. A lot of COVID news last week, so we did a pre-game live pick show where we took 4 games at the kind of 12th, kind of the last hour mark. We go live noon Eastern on Sunday, and we know games kick off at 1 o'clock. So, we had 4 game day picks, last week. Bucks minus 11.5 over the Panthers. Y'all already know how that one went. They win by 26. Then we took the Texans plus 13.5. Y'all were actively betting it down to Texans plus 12.5 as we were talking, and it didn't matter with that 1 point value loss because they win by 12 anyway. Then we took the Patriots minus 1, and that was the one that we lost on. They lose by 12. The Bills definitely showed up. We were wrong. And then we took the Dolphins minus 3. They win by 17. Bingo, bango. So on game day, folks, we read the entire week correctly except that Patriots pick, and we went 3 of 4 officially. So we're ready to go 6 for 6 this week. Because we're feeling good about betting this early on in the week. The value is there, and there's not as many. There's still a little bit, but there's not as many COVID outs that we have to kind of, all right, we have to wait. Is he going to clear? Is he not? We have to wait till game day, all that. There's not that many this week. So we feel confident giving you the picks on Friday, folks. So here we go. Let's start with our locks, folks. Here we go. 3 picks in our lock section coming up. First pick in our lock section, folks. And once again, folks, come on. Stop disrespecting this team. Vegas, man, oh, man. We are taking the Dolphins plus 3.5. I love that over half a point hook here. So if the Titans do win, I think this game's going to be close. I'm not here this week. This week I'm not. The last 6 weeks we have been. But this week, I'm not saying, hey, the Dolphins are going to blow out the Titans. I still think this is going to be a close game. This Titans defense is still solid. It's a solid, winnable defense here. And Ryan Tannehill can make some plays here and there offensively. But I think the bulk of the game is going to come down to that narrative of the Dolphins defense smothering Ryan Tannehill, because we know Ryan Tannehill cannot get it done himself. So overall, I do think this is going to be a close game. That's why I love 3.5 here, because I could definitely see this being a 3-point win either way. So I get that extra half a point hook for the Dolphins. That's exactly it. If this was Dolphins only plus 3, this would not be a lock. This would definitely be a 99% guarantee. But that half a point hook is everything, and it's everything this week. I do think the Dolphins win outright here, so I don't even think we'll have to worry about that half a point. But this Dolphins defense will be able to smother the Titans, a kind of closer, lower scoring game overall with the Dolphins on the road, but Tua gets it done. Tua is a winner, and that is one of the biggest narratives that's not being talked about in the mainstream media, folks, is Tua winning games. You can call him, if y'all want to call him trash, there's nothing I can do to change your opinion. We've tried to do that. We've talked about Tua for the last 6 weeks of how great he is, showing you, hey, this is what he's doing, but y'all are still either not believing it, or just being hard-headed, or just listening to the media, or just, trying to be trolls, which is, I guess, okay. I see y'all do that all the time. I don't get into that. But I love what this Dolphins team is overall, and Tua is just a straight-up winner. Jalen Waddle getting it done, running back by committee. Now that we've got 3 here, all getting it done. This Dolphins team has been working on the Wildcat a little bit last week, so expect them to incorporate that maybe a little bit more, a tad bit more over the Titans, and that could catch them off guard if they're not actively game planning defensively for that. So I think everything's lining up. Dolphins just got into the playoffs last week. They need to kind of win out to definitely keep that spot, and I know Brian Flores definitely wants to be in the playoffs this season, given on how they started early on in the season, 1-7. So Titans offense, I'm not believing in Ryan Tannehill over this fantastic top 3 defense in the league that is this Dolphins defense, and we're still trying to come up with the nickname, folks. We are still having trouble. We've got the Walk of Fame defense with the Cowboys and the provocateurs of the Patriots defense, but we can't come up with the cool, clever name of this Dolphins defense. Let me give me 10 seconds here. Let me play it out. Dolphins, they squeak. Dolphins defense, Fins, defense, Brian Flores. What do we got? Dolphins, animal, mammal, water, marine life, defense. We get pick sixes. We get the fin sixes. I don't really like that. Sacking. What can I do with the fins and the flippers? And I don't know, folks. It's not coming to me. I've been struggling, folks. So if you can come up with a great Dolphins defense name, let me know, because I'm struggling here, folks. The fins, see, it's not coming. It's not coming to me. So Dolphins plus 3.5, first lock of the week, folks. We don't know what nickname, but we know value, and the Dolphins plus 3.5 is fantastic value. Alrighty, second pick in our locks, and once again, we only have to swallow less than a touchdown here. Of course, we're taking this. What are you, crazy? Saints minus 6.5 over the Panthers. Stop betting the Panthers, and I swear to goodness, if I start to see this line drop to 6, 5.5, 5, or if I see the spread, or if I see the odds at Saints minus 6.5 be like plus 110, plus 115, showing me that y'all are actively betting the Panthers, I may just lose it this week. This may be the week y'all push me over the edge of truly scolding y'all, of taking the Panthers and betting on them. Stop betting on Cam Newton. He is absolute trash. Matt Rule is absolute trash. Everybody on Twitter, we said it earlier this show, everybody on Twitter is hashtagging Rule out and kind of telling us, hey, he should be fired, and that's exactly it. Saints not rocking with Ian Book, obviously, fantastic. Getting Taysom Hill back, rocking with him. Saints at home, trying to get into the playoffs. Panthers fighting for nothing, and we know this Saints team defensively steps it up against division opponents. We just saw them shut down Tom Brady, and if they can shut down Tom Brady, they should be able to shut down Cam Newton pretty easily. You hold Tom Brady to 0 points, then you should be able to hold the Panthers to like negative 20 points. I don't know how that's possible, but watch this game to find out how a team can actively score negative points, because it's coming this week. Saints minus 6.5. Saints at home. They win by a touchdown. Bingo, bango. That's what we're looking at here, folks. And this Panthers team is nothing good. I'm sure Sam Darnold plays a lot here, but once again, that's not good either. So either way, whoever's playing quarterback, it's still Matt Rule at the helm, and we know how that goes. So Saints getting blown out on national Monday night television. Sean Payton's egos at stake here. Saints at home. Everything's lining up for another great week of cashing in on our sponsor of betting against the Carolina Panthers. Once again, Carolina Panthers, thank you for funding Takes by Fans. Thank you for all that you have done for the show over the last 6 weeks. We truly appreciate it, and Takes by Fans would not be where it is today without the Carolina Panthers. We thank you for your generosity of supporting small creators here. Thank you, Carolina. And we will be cashing in again on our sponsors, Saints minus 6.5. Lock it in. Lock it in and lock it up. I want this value to be driven to Saints minus 20 by game day. Do you understand me, folks? Bet it up to Saints minus 20, and we will have it all a great week. All right, last game in our lock section, folks. Well, we read the articles, we read the stories about how great this Rams team is, and damn, y'all got out a little bit ahead of me. We just lost a 0.5 point value over the last hour. Damn, y'all, but I respect y'all because y'all are making the right play. So I guess we can all win. I'll eat a little less value so y'all can have the better value. That's how generous I am here, folks. Rams minus 5. We had it at Rams minus 4 when I was making these official picks in our prep of the show today. But Rams minus 5. Okay, we're gonna lock it in at the 5. But I'm still liking it here. We just saw Lamar Jackson, folks. He's not going to be, if he does go, he's going to be super limited, super hobbled, and Aaron Donald is going to be licking his chops at getting after a wobbly, hobbling Lamar Jackson not at 100% strength. Now, if Tyler Huntley is playing, he does look good, but remember how rookie quarterbacks have been playing, or not rookie, but backup quarterbacks have been playing this season. Game 1, they can come out and win it. We've seen it. The Cowboys quarterback has done it. Mike White, the Jets quarterback, game number 1, looking pretty good. Being like, whoa, where'd this dude come from? Maybe he can play. Maybe he can even compete for a starting job. Whoa. And then they rock with the same quarterback next week, and they lose. They get blown out. They get embarrassed. And then they're like, okay, this is why they're backup quarterbacks, because the opposing team doesn't have tape on them. They don't know what they do well. And then some quarterbacks get a game 3, some don't. Mike White didn't really get that third game under his belt. They go with Joe Flacco. But that third game with Colt McCoy of the Cardinals, he wins game 1. He gets blown out game 2. Game 3, he gets the win. So game 3 is truly the deciding factor. Game 1 is always usually good for backup quarterbacks this season. Game number 2 is usually a blowout. And game number 3 is truly, all right, are they good? Are they bad? We get to see it here. Tyler Huntley would be on his second game, which is the bad game. He was good last week, almost won the game. Unfortunate. Couldn't get it done in the clutch. And then this game against the Rams, that would be his number 2 garbage game. Rams, I mean, fantastic over the last couple of weeks. One of the best teams, you could say. I don't want to say the best team in the NFC just because what the Packers have been doing, very, very close overall in the NFC, Rams-Packers. But this Rams team, definitely one of the top teams in the NFC, consistent, getting it done, went toe-to-toe with the Vikings last week, but, that's just how Vikings games go. So, once again, we didn't penalize the Rams for a close game last week. They're still sticking with Sony Michel, which is fantastic. We read that article earlier today, which we absolutely love, and Matthew Stafford is pleasing OBJ. Matthew Stafford still targeting Cooper Kupp 12 plus times a game, and Cooper Kupp is still running for over 100 yards, receiving over for 100 yards, getting it done, touchdown scoring, moving the ball deep down the field. So this Rams offense is fantastic. This Rams defense will obliterate any quarterback that they put out there, hobbled Lamar Jackson, or game 2, Tyler Huntley, which is the trash game. So we'll swallow the 5 here for the Rams. I think it's great value. They win by at least a touchdown, and the Rams are kind of officially a little eliminated from the playoffs with this loss tonight, or this weekend. So, Rams -5. All right, these are our 3 locks that we're rocking with this week. Dolphins plus 3.5 points, Saints -6.5, and the Rams -5. Feeling fantastic. Oh my goodness. Odds are plus 581. I put $100 on this. You win 681, man. Holy moly, fantastic. Alrighty, now let's shift gears to our 99% guarantee. Still feeling very, very good, but there is maybe one thing that we could potentially see going wrong. So we'll talk about those through. So here we go. First pick in our 99% guarantees. We are going back to Texans plus 12. Now, let me preface it by saying this. I'm not taking the Texans with the points this week because of Davis Mills alone. I'm doing it a little bit more so of Trey Lance being the starting quarterback this week for the 49ers. If it was like Texans only getting like 6 or 7, I would stay away from it. But I think this is a little bit too high for Trey Lance being the starter. Plus, Brandon Cooks, we just told you, coming back from COVID-19. So Davis Mills, who just had a fantastic showing with this kind of backup receivers, tier 2 receivers and all that, he gets his A1 tier 1 receiver back. So Brandon Cooks should be on par, and his other receivers should be on par as well because they just got all the bulk of the throws last week, so they'll be prepared for this week. 49ers trying to make the playoffs, 49ers at home, 49ers defense. All that is very, very good, and why the 49ers most likely win this week. But I think 12 here is a little bit too much for Trey Lance individually. I'm sure he makes a mistake or two. I believe Davis Mills can capitalize on mistakes off of turnovers with at least 3 points, and I think the Texans keep it decently competitive and don't get blown out. That's why it's in our 99% guarantees, but I think 12 points I think is fantastic value. Seeing what they did last week, I don't think they ride all that momentum, but they still have that solid momentum. Davis Mills looking solid, not 100% good, but still solid, and I think it's a solid game overall. I don't think Trey Lance blows out a team his first real official start with playoff implications on the line, all that pressure, where Davis Mills doesn't have pressure. He can't make the playoffs. He's most likely going to be on the team next year, maybe not the starter, but he will be at camp competing for the starting job this next season, regardless if he wins this game, gets blown out this game, loses next week, wins next week, gets blown out next week, doesn't matter. He will most likely still be on the roster. So loosey-goosey free Davis Mills over, hey, if I make one mistake, I could cost our entire team. Me, little old rookie quarterback, can cost our entire team a playoff spot. I'll take the Texans plus the 12 here. I don't think they win, but I love the number. Maybe they lose by 10. 12 is more than 10, and we hit our bet. Texans plus 12. Alrighty, next pick here. We are going Monday Night Football with Browns minus 3.5, and why we are putting this in our 99%. Well, let's tell you why we like the Browns first. We like them because the Steelers are trash. Their offense is so gosh dang bad. Big Ben cannot throw the ball to save his life. He can't sling it around. He's not good. He's hobbled. He can't move around in the pocket. Now, why this is in our 99% guarantees is because this is Big Ben's last home game, and it's on Monday Night Football. So the narratives, the energy, the spirit, the football gods may let Big Ben kind of play with a kind of fresh arm. Maybe he slings it around. Steelers still trying to fight for the playoffs, but so are the Cleveland Browns. And Kevin Stefanski is kind of, not coaching for his life here these last 2 weeks, but we really have to see some sort of great offensive production here. Baker Mayfield has to be on point as well this game so he can have a little bit of a better negotiation strategy heading into a contract, off season and all that. Don't like the extra half a point hook here with the Browns minus 3.5, but overall, this Browns defense versus this Steelers offense should tell you all you need to know about betting this game. I can't rely any on the Steelers moving the ball consistently throughout the game, so I'm never going to bet on that. I'm never betting on a team that I'm actively going in and be like, well, they can't move the ball. Why would I ever bet that? It's going to be garbage to watch. It's going to be giving me, stress and anxiety, being like, well, I know this team can't move the ball, so every time that they do move the ball, that they better score on those drives because they're not getting back here. So Browns minus 3.5, division game, all that, Big Ben's potential last game. I just have no viability in Big Ben, folks. Just zero. If you watch this Steelers team play, you're like, wow, this is an NFL team. This isn't the XFL. This isn't, the new league coming out. What is that new league? It's on Fox, and I don't want to disrespect it because it's going to be football. It's going to be okay to watch, but we need another, spring football that goes belly up midway season that we don't get the end of it, and that's what we need. All right, but either way, Browns minus 3.5. Baker, Kevin Stefanski, you've got to get back on the same page like y'all were last year. We haven't really seen it at all this year. It's time to step it up and get it done. Monday Night Football, division rivalry on the road. We'll take the Browns minus 3.5. Alrighty, and then our last pick in our lock section, folks, for the week, we are going Cardinals plus 6.5 points. Yes, all right. This is going to be a great game. Cardinals, Cowboys, two top-tier teams in the NFC, and honestly, two Super Bowl contending teams. Cardinals, we have them in the playoff contender, but if they win this game, I would definitely move them into Super Bowl contender category. Now, why I'm taking this game, it's like, when are we going to get Cardinals plus 6.5? I have this up right here. This website is recording all the spreads throughout this entire season, so I just want to quickly go through this to see, when has there ever been a week where we get 6.5 with the Cardinals, folks? I mean, this is a great team. We know they can turn it on. We know they've got the offense. Is DeAndre Hopkins back? Let me double check on that. I believe he should be good to go this week, but let me double check this. Injuries. Here we go. DeAndre Hopkins is still out. Damn. So that should, hurt them a little bit, but still at the end of the day, you have to be a little bit better than just your overall number one wide receiver. And that's why we're taking the Cardinals plus 6.5, because this is a must. It's not a must win, but it's a must be competitive. I think we said it a little bit earlier this week. It's a must not get blown out. It's a must lose at maximum by one possession. And that one possession really only can be like 3 points. You have to lose by really a field goal or less for us to truly buy back into this Cardinals team that we've been selling over the last couple of weeks. So we need this Cardinals team to be good, and why we have it in the 99% guarantees, it's because we're getting a lot of great points. Now, this Cowboys team as well, yes, their defense is absolutely fantastic. We don't have to tell y'all that. We show y'all every single week, Walk of Fame defense. We've named the defense. We know they're good. But Dak Prescott getting a little cocky last week saying, hey, are we still in a slump? Well, it was your defense that really kind of put you in that great position offensively to score. So, yes, y'all got it done, but it was really on short field. Cardinals riding momentum at home based on what the defense did. So I think, Dak Prescott getting a little bit too ahead of the gun there offensively to say, hey, our slump is officially over. Our little tumble is officially over. So I think the Cowboys may be a little cocky this week facing the Cardinals, and the Cardinals obviously need to win and be competitive to get the bad taste out of their mouth of what they've been losing over the last couple of weeks against Super Bowl and playoff contenders. Also, Cardinals plus 6.5. Back to that. That's just great. That's a lot of points to give a special team. I think we can all agree that this Cardinals team is still one of the most talented teams all over the place with receivers and quarterback and head coach and defense and all that. So getting 6.5 with any great team, it's a little foolish not to take. So I quickly want to go through all the Cardinals games this season to quickly see how many times they have gotten this many points, and if it's because we are not going to get this opportunity again to get a high profile team getting plus 6.5 points. Maybe in the playoffs we will, but at that point, it changes. Value is changed in the playoffs because everything is a little bit tighter. So value that would be good in the regular season is not good in the playoffs anymore. But here we go. Let's see if we can do this quickly here. Let me find Cardinals so we can go through all of them quickly. So here we go. Week 1, Cardinals. They were plus 2.5. Week 2, they were minus 3. Week 3, they were minus 2.5. Week 4, they were plus 4.5. They won that game against the Rams. Not quite at that 6.5 value. Week 5, it was a pick'em. Week 6, it was Cardinals plus 4.5. Week 7, Cardinals minus 10.5. Week 8, Cardinals minus 3. Week 9, Cardinals plus 5.5 against the 49ers. Week 10, Cardinals minus 6. Week 11, Cardinals plus 3.5 against the Seahawks. Is that right? Was that a real value? Is that right? Did we take that week? Interesting. Week 12, a bye. Week 13, minus 1.5. Week 14, Cardinals plus 2.5. That was time it was against the Rams. That's when, their decline really kind of, got to the forefront. Week 15, Cardinals minus 6.5. Week 16, last week, Cardinals minus 1.5. So this is the best value they've gotten all season, and I just unfortunately cannot run away from that. I cannot not bet that this week. I'm going to take the Cardinals with the points. I think they keep it close. I know the Cowboys are a great team, but this is a must-be competitive game for the Cardinals. We'll take them plus 6.5 here in our 99% guarantees. Alrighty, so our 99% guarantees, we've got Texans plus 12, Browns minus 3.5, and the Cardinals plus 6.5. Now, folks, there is a trap bet, folks. There is a trap bet this week. We saw it yesterday, and I was like, all right, I think that might be a little bit of a trap, and then I rested on it, and then I resaw the line that y'all bet it the wrong way, proving that it is a trap bet set up by Vegas. So, the bet to stay away from this week, or really to bet the opposite because, hey, they're showing you, hey, bet this when you should be betting this. So this is our bonus. Avoid the trap bet this week. And that trap game is Chiefs at Bengals. And the trap was Bengals plus 5. Now, y'all have been betting the Bengals plus 5. So it has come down to Bengals plus 4.5. Once again, y'all are falling for that trap set by Vegas. And we're going to go Chiefs minus 4.5 of our bonus pick of the week. Now, why we call this a trap bet is because optically Joe Burrow just threw 525 yards and looked real solid while doing so. They blew out the Ravens. Everyone's talking about Joe Burrow. We just talked about the story of the Chiefs defensive coordinator calling Joe Burrow a young Tom Brady can do it all. We've got the Ravens defensive coordinator after the game saying, well, let's pump the brakes on giving Joe Burrow a gold jacket. Joe Burrow's been Smurfy all week long. His press conferences, he's got that little smirk, his classic Joey B smirk. Every time, they're asking questions about the game and the 525-yard performance and all that, asking Joe Burrow's opinion on what the defensive coordinator for the Ravens, was saying after the game, and Joe Burrow saying, like, hey, it was an unnecessary comment, and getting his kind of, digs in throughout the media sessions out this week, folks. I mean, just look it up. Joe Burrow, he gets this little kind of smirk at the end. I'm not blaming him for the smirk. Hey, be smirky, be smurfy. I've got no problem with it, but this all plays into the overall optics of what Vegas is putting out there. Bengals +5. We did not even say that as the prediction, folks. We said it should have been Chiefs -1, Bengals +1. That's really what we thought it would, but giving such great value. Hey, look at this, Bengals at home, Bengals +5 points. Everybody is jumping on that, and I for a second thought that was great value. I was kind of ready to jump on that, but then I was thinking about Vegas, and we know Vegas isn't respectful like this, giving the Bengals +5 points. What are you, crazy? So I'm saying it's a trap bet. Joe Burrow being a little too smurfy out here. This Chiefs defense is not like the Ravens defense. And once again, we watched Joe Burrow's performance in our film study this Wednesday, folks, this week. And, it was a great performance. We're not going to take anything away from that performance. But once again, it was really everything wide open. That Ravens defense, I don't know what the hell they were doing. 2 jump balls to T. Higgins that he came down with. And, Joe Burrow put it decently on the money, but it was T. Higgins, going up and catching the ball, going up and high pointing the ball. All the other throws were really wide open because the Ravens defense wasn't that good. And I'm not taking anything away from the performance. If it's so easy to throw 525 yards, everybody would be doing it every single week, folks. So don't give me, Joe Burrow faced a trash team or anything like that. Well, the Chargers just faced the Texans and lost. So what are we talking about? It's any given Sunday. Every performance is a great performance if you throw 525 yards, regardless of who you're doing it against. So I'm not taking anything away from Joe Burrow's performance, but we have to get into the betting mindset, folks. Talking sports and a betting mindset are two totally different mindsets. We have our finger on the pulse here of the NFL and the NBA, and we're not betting 100%. And nobody does. It's so hard. It's so drastically different talking sports and then talking betting sports. It's totally different here, but I think we do a damn good job of getting both right, honestly. So Chiefs -4.5 here, folks, I think is the better play. But taking the Bengals +5, +4.5, I think is a little bit of a trap bet. This Chiefs defense is way better than the Ravens, Ravens defense. And we have not seen this Bengals team be consistent. Didn't we just talk about it earlier this week on the show, folks? Let me get it up here. They go like 2 losses, 2 wins, and then 2 losses, and then 2 wins, and then 2 losses. Cincinnati, let me get this up here. Let me double check this. Almost positive, but I definitely, let's just double check the numbers. No reason not to double check here. I'm almost certain it was the Bengals that we were talking about it. So here we go. This is what they've been doing. I believe it's ever since week 6 here in the NFL. So here we go. Since week 6, win-win, loss-loss, win-win, loss-loss, win-win, 2 losses coming up. This is not a greatly consistent Bengals team. They show these great glimpses of offense and the great glimpses of defense, but then they still actively do lose some games, and the turnovers, rear their head and all that. So Chiefs defense, Chiefs being kind of big underdog or big favorites in this game. But with that performance of Joe Burrow, I think going with the number of Chiefs -4.5 and swallowing those points is the better play overall. We'll see if this Bengals team can be consistent for a 3rd week in a row and get a 3rd win in a row, breaking their trending cycle that we've been seeing. But at the end of the day, it's Chiefs, it's Andy Reid, it's Patrick Mahomes trying to lock up that number 1 seed in the AFC and all that. I'm going to take the Chiefs -4.5. I believe the Bengals with the points this week is a trap bet, folks. Don't fall for the trap. Chiefs -4.5 is our trap avoiding bonus bet of the week. All right, so to recap all of our bets this week, all of our official picks, we've got Dolphins +3.5, Saints -6.5, Rams -4, Chiefs -4.5, Texans +12, Browns -3.5, and the Cardinals +6.5 points this week, folks. Feeling good, feeling good, feeling good. Alrighty, final thing to do for today's show, folks, is walk through our predicted playoff scenarios. Earlier this week, we finished out the last 2 weeks of the season predicting all the winners here, and we have our final playoff positioning according to us. Now, we will redo this after week 17. Everything that we've got wrong, which I don't think we got anything wrong. This is how quickly, we'll recap this quickly, how we think week 17 plays out. Here we go. Chiefs over Bengals, Colts over Raiders, Patriots over Jags, Dolphins over Titans, Chargers over Broncos, Browns over Steelers, Bills over Falcons, Rams over Ravens, Bucks over Jets, 49ers over Texans, Bears over Giants, Eagles over Washington, Saints over Carolina, Seahawks over Lions, Dallas over Cardinals, and Packers over Vikings. That's how we see week 17 playing out. Now, if anything goes crazy, week 17 that we got anything wrong, we'll re-walk through week 18, re-see how the playoffs set, re-walk through the matchups and all that, and get our overall Super Bowl winner heading into week 18. But let's focus on heading into week 17, shall we? So, with all the remaining 2 weeks of the season predicted, this is how the seeding of the playoffs are, and what the overall matchups are. So, we get the Colts at the Bengals, the Dolphins at the Bills, and the Patriots at the Titans in the AFC, with the Chiefs being the number 1 seed. And then in the NFC, we get the Cardinals at the Bucks, the Eagles at the Rams, and the Saints at the Cowboys, with the Packers being the number 1 seed in the NFC. So let's talk through these matchups right here, and then we'll walk through the entire playoff season and declare a Super Bowl winner right now. So here we go. Let's start in the AFC. First matchup up is the Colts at the Bengals, and this should be a great matchup overall here. Colts, if they run the ball here, they're going to be one of the most unstoppable teams in the AFC. That defense is elite, and that running game is elite as well. Carson Wentz, we don't want that man throwing more than really 20 times in a game. Where this Bengals team, they do have home field advantage for winning the division, so congratulations to the Bengals here. But overall, it's this Bengals team not being the consistent that we need. This Colts team has been so consistent. What do we got? The last 3-4 weeks of just running the ball, pounding the ball. We love what we're getting with Frank Reich, and I believe if they run the ball against this Bengals team, they will be able to control the clock, control the game on the road, and running with Jonathan Taylor 29, 30 plus times a game can result you into 30 plus points, which, is fantastic scoring. So I'm going to take the Colts over the Bengals. All right, then we get the Dolphins at the Bills, and this is the worst scenario for this Dolphins team. They don't have the Bills number. Going all the way back to last season, regular season, can't get it done. First meeting. Second meeting, where they need to win to get into the playoffs, and they looked the worst I've ever seen this Dolphins team ever. And I've seen this team with Joe Philbin as the head coach. I've seen this team with Adam Gase as a head coach, but what they did last week of the season to try and get into the playoffs against the Bills, I try to erase that from my memory because it was the worst thing I've ever seen. And then flash forward to this season, already blown out twice, non-competitive and all that. So worst case scenario for the Dolphins. I want to root for the Dolphins and I want to pick the Dolphins here, but everything I've seen over the last 2 weeks, this Dolphins offense cannot get it done against the Bills. The Dolphins defense decently has some nice, drive stops here and there, but overall, for the most part, you need to put up points, and this Dolphins team cannot against the Bills. So great scenario for the Bills. Worst case scenario for the Dolphins. We choose the Bills. All right, and then we get the Patriots at the Titans. Man, oh man, Titans. Hope maybe Derrick Henry. Can Derrick Henry be back for the wild card game? I hope, gosh dang so, folks. Man, oh man, I miss watching that man. I stare at Derrick Henry an hour every morning before the show, just so I can feel good about it. I can feel good about going along throughout my day, knowing that I witnessed Derrick Henry. So Patriots defense is very, very good. In this Colts offense, folks, this Titans offense is just not it. Tannehill cannot get it done himself. We know this. We see this on a weekly basis here. Watch for it this week against the Dolphins. Ryan Tannehill, they have history together. Big meaning game in playoffs and all that. And Ryan Tannehill, I think, is going to get shellacked in this game. He cannot get it done himself. The two running back by committee that the Titans have to replace the King Henry, it looks good, but it doesn't give that kind of impact of smash mouth football that Derrick Henry provides for the Titans. Patriots offense going against a little bit of a mediocre to solid Titans defense, so Mac Jones should be able to have some decent success here. And I'm going to choose the Patriots. Bill Belichick gets it done on the road. Alrighty, so the three winners in the AFC of Wildcard Weekend are Colts, Bills, and the Patriots. Now let's shift gears to the NFC. First matchup up is the Cardinals at the Bucs, and this is a really not great matchup here for this Cardinals team. They've been sliding, skidding, and we have a really bad taste in our mouth of what this Cardinals team is overall. And now they're having to face the Bucs, defending Super Bowl champions at home. I just think it's a little bit tough for this Cardinals team to win it. A little inexperienced in the playoffs and all that, where you've got Tom Brady and company who have just done it. Tom Brady has done it every single year for his entire career. So bad matchup here for the Cardinals. They must not be the worst seed in the NFC playoffs here. So they must get it done over these next 2 weeks. But we will predict this Bucs team does win. Alrighty. Well, the Cardinals would be the 5th seed, but either way, I mean, you just got to be better than that, man. You got to be better than the 5th seed, and it's going to be tough because you got to win the division, and it's probably not happening. So this is not looking great for the Cardinals overall. I guess we can say that. All right, next matchup up here is the Eagles and the Rams, and I love this Eagles team, don't get me wrong, and we said this Eagles team is Super Bowl contenders, but the Rams are the wrong team to go against. The Eagles really need to face the Bucs. I think that's a better matchup. Obviously, the Saints is the easiest matchup. Cowboys could be an interesting matchup, but you definitely don't want to face the Rams right off the rip here in LA. This Eagles defense may be able to contend a little bit, but I don't know about this Eagles offense over this Rams defense. I know this Eagles offense is good. They've got the running game. It's a well-balanced running and passing game. But overall, this Rams defense has been getting it done, solidifying itself over the last 4 weeks. The offense of Matthew Stafford and Sony Michel and Sean McVay being perfectly educated on what wins and what makes this offense tick, keeping the running game going. I love the Eagles, but I think it's the Rams with the win. And then the last wild card game here, we get the Saints at the Cowboys, and this one's just too easy. It's Cowboys. It's the Cowboys. Absolutely. Cowboys at home. Cowboys defense obliterates the Saints offense, and the Cowboys only have to put up 1 point the entire game to win. I think they'll be able to do that. Cowboys get the easy win against the Saints. All right, so wild card round has been predicted. We go to the division round. 2 games on each side, AFC, NFC. First game up here in the NFC, we get the Colts at the Bills. Now this, I want to see this matchup at some point in the playoffs, whether first round, second round, last round, whatever it is. I want to see what this Colts and Bills team can do against each other. This was the wild card game from last season. Phillip Rivers, down 1 possession, ball in his hands, can't get it done. Now, can Carson Wentz get it done? I don't know. Ball in his hands, down 1 possession, last drive of the game. Can Carson Wentz sling the ball to win? I don't know. But I think the running game by the Colts and the defense by the Colts is the only thing that needs to be kind of said here. With this Colts team, we are imagining that they're just going to be a power running football, relying on their defense, and that's really what's going to win the Super Bowl, what's going to win in the playoffs. A great defense in controlling the clock, and the Bills cannot control the clock with their lack of running game. Now, Josh Allen can get it done. We just saw it last week. He slung the ball fantastically against the Patriots defense, but now he has to do it here against this Colts defense. He's going to have to do it with the game on the line, and we know this Bills team offensively gets ultra conservative in the playoffs. So I think it's just a really bad matchup here for the Bills, and I'm going to go the Colts beating the Bills, getting it done and advancing to the AFC Championship game. Then we get the Patriots at the Chiefs. Patriots defense, solid, really good, but this Chiefs defense is as good, if not better. And they only have to guard Mac Jones, where the Patriots defense has to guard Patrick Mahomes and at home. So I'm going to take the Chiefs with the win here. Patriots competitive, a great game overall. It's Bill Belichick with Andy Reid. I mean, they have history with each other, with Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes going against each other when Tom Brady was still in the AFC. But I'm going to give it here to the Chiefs. Their defense has been absolutely fantastic. This is a new Chiefs team over kind of the last 5-6 weeks with their defense getting it truly together. And Mac Jones, he wins one playoff game, which is great for a rookie, but I don't know if he's ready to start winning division rounds of playoffs. We take the Chiefs with the win. And then in the NFC, man, oh my goodness. And if this is division weekend in the NFC, this is must-watch television. These could potentially be the highest rated NFL games by viewership in history, overpowering Super Bowls, overpowering the Colts and Patriots facing earlier, what was it, last season, this season? Whatever, they're all blending together. But whenever Tom Brady of the Bucs faced Bill Belichick of the Patriots, I mean, these games right here, Rams at Cowboys, Bucs at Packers, man, oh man. Let's start talking about them. Here we go. We get Rams at the Cowboys, and wow. Rams having to go on the road. Cowboys being at home is the best thing about this Cowboys game right here. We know the Cowboys defense is great. We know the Rams defense is great. I would say the Cowboys defense is better than the Rams defense overall. But we can rely on this Rams offense more consistently, I believe, than we can the Cowboys offense. Now, there is going to be a narrative that comes into play this offseason, and it's going to be a little interesting to see how it plays out. Matthew Stafford never being in a high pressure-filled wild card game where they're expected to not only win, but to get to the Super Bowl. Matthew Stafford does not have that in him. He's never experienced that. And, we talk about, experience. A lot of, the national media talks about experience as you get into the playoffs and how you need experience. That's why nobody's giving the Cardinals any credit this season, because they don't have the playoff experience. I don't buy as heavy into, what y'all say about that. I do believe that experience is a little needed. I don't think it's as much as the players say, which maybe I shouldn't be saying that. But, I just don't think it's as important as everybody makes it out to be. But Rams here, Matthew Stafford's going to have to get it done. This Cowboys offense, it's been a little struggling still. And I think just talking regular season so far, that Matthew Stafford's offense has been a little bit more consistent than Dak Prescott's offense overall. And I think that's what it's really going to come down to. This could be one of the greatest games to watch of the season, and I really hope this comes to fruition. But I am going to take the Rams over the Cowboys. And then we get the Bucs at the Packers, a basic replay of what we just saw last season. Tom Brady throws 3 interceptions and still wins the game. I cannot assume Aaron Rodgers gets it done. I'm still seeing the same Aaron Rodgers that I've seen my entire life, which is fantastic. But, they're not blowing out teams this season. They're winning by, scrappy and all that. And, facing Tom Brady, he's going to get it done like we just saw last season. Matt LaFleur, high pressure in the playoffs, knowing he has to call it exactly right, or Aaron Rodgers will use that, wrong play calling of the decision, whether it's not going for it on 4th down and kicking the field goal, or going for it on 4th down when Aaron Rodgers didn't want to, or whatever the case is. Anything could really move Aaron Rodgers off of not being a Green Bay Packer next year. The only thing that makes Aaron Rodgers consider being a Green Bay Packer next year is winning the Super Bowl. So I think they're going to be coaching on eggshells. I think Aaron Rodgers still lets the pressure of the playoffs get to him at the end, and I'm going to choose the Bucs beating the Packers. All right, that brings us to the championship round. Colts, Chiefs in the AFC, Bucs, Rams in the NFC. We get Colts and Chiefs in the NFC. In the AFC. Let's start with that first. We get the Colts. Once again, great defense. Running game is there. Chiefs, great defense. Offense all over the place is there. Colts having to go on the road. Carson Wentz, is he even healthy at this point? We've never seen Carson Wentz this far in the playoffs. The farthest that we've seen Carson Wentz play in the playoffs is like the first quarter of the wild card round, and then he gets injured, and then that's it for Carson Wentz's playoff career. So I think that's going to play an effect here where we get Chiefs at home in the AFC Championship game. I mean, that's where they are every single year. So they've got the experience that we just talked about. And I think that's going to be kind of the main difference. I think maybe Frank Reich, we'll see how disciplined he is. Once again, this Colts team really is going to be taken as far as Frank Reich's discipline. How long can he keep up running the ball 30-plus times a game while keeping Carson Wentz to 25 throws and under? We know Frank Reich and Carson Wentz have big old history. I believe Frank Reich wants to give Carson Wentz the credit like Pete Carroll wanted to give Russell Wilson the credit in that second Super Bowl they went to. That's why they threw the ball on the 1 yard line on second down and didn't run the ball with Marshawn Lynch from the 1 yard line because Pete Carroll wanted Russell Wilson to get all the attention, all the credit for the win, be highly regarded as one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, and didn't want to give all that praise to Marshawn Lynch, who was a little, the NFL didn't really love. He had a lot of antics, grabbing his crotch in the end zone. Comparing Russell Wilson to Marshawn Lynch, which player do you think the NFL would like to kind of have as their face of the league, during, 2014? Russell Wilson, who's, obviously, clean as heck, a great guy overall, or Marshawn Lynch, who's great. I'm not knocking Marshawn Lynch. I love Marshawn Lynch, but, grabbing the crotch in the end zone, little I'm here so I don't get fined and all that. I don't think the NFL loved those things as much as everybody else did. So I'm going to take the Chiefs here in the AFC Championship game. And now we get the Bucks at the Rams here, and the Rams are at home. Getting a home playoff game here in the NFC Championship game. That's exactly where the Rams truly want to be. We get the Rams defense very, very good. We know Sean McVay offensively is fantastic. I'm sure he's going to keep the running game here. And it's Tom Brady going on the road again. What happens if he throws 3 interceptions this time against the Rams defense? I think Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford can make them pay. So I'm going to take the Rams here, and Matthew Stafford finally gets to a Super Bowl the first time he is on a good team. And that brings us to the Super Bowl matchup. Rams at the Chiefs, folks. And what wins championships, what wins Super Bowls? Defense. And both of these teams have really, really good defenses. And I think maybe the experience kind of issue plays a big factor here. Matthew Stafford finally getting to a Super Bowl where Patrick Mahomes is like, oh, you finally got here. I've been here. I've been waiting for you, Matt Stafford. I've been waiting to beat you in the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes here the last 2 seasons where Matthew Stafford's never even dreamed about being in the Super Bowl because his team was never even close to being good enough to start dreaming about getting to the big game. Does Andy Reid lose back-to-back Super Bowls? Probably not, because his son is not going to be able to kill another innocent person while drunk driving. So they're not going to have to, have that over the entirety of the Chiefs organization. Should be a great Super Bowl, but I'm going to give it to the Chiefs here. With the experience and all that. Rams, this should be a great, I would truly love to watch the Super Bowl. Rams, Colts, Rams, Chiefs. I want to see Matthew Stafford in the Super Bowl to truly see what he can do. But I'm going to say the Chiefs win it here. Chiefs win the Super Bowl over the Rams. This Chiefs defense is the real deal, folks. You got to start talking about them a little bit more respectful over the last couple of weeks. And once again, it's Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid back at the Super Bowl. I don't think they will lose 2 in a row. So, Rams, Chiefs, Super Bowl, Chiefs get the win. So, that's how we see the last 2 weeks playing out, how the rest of the season plays out here in the playoffs. We'll see what happens in week 17 that jumbles up the playoff order, the playoff seeding. Maybe the Chiefs don't get to the Super Bowl if they run into a different team during, their run. Maybe they run into the Bills. Maybe the Colts, face somebody easier, something like that, and it changes the outcome. So we'll keep track of, what happens week 17, obviously, and we'll re-walk through week 18 later next week. Alrighty, folks, that is going to do it for us today. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We are back live tomorrow, noon Eastern. What do we got on tomorrow's show? What do we got on tomorrow, Saturday? Tomorrow, Saturday, what do we got? NBA Daily 10. couple of stories, see if anybody's out with COVID, see if we have to change any of our picks because of people out with COVID. And, I think we'll see anything that we got to talk about. What do we got to do? Maybe we'll watch an extra film study to truly get right. Maybe a bonus pick to watch it for. But we're back here tomorrow, noon Eastern, folks, talking sports, which is what we do here every day. Alrighty, folks, make some money tonight in the NBA. We got 2 picks. Let's take a quick look in that. Since one of these NBA games that we just bet on, Suns -3.5, has been underway. Let's see what we got here with the score. Are we currently winning? Hopefully we are. Let's go back to the NBA here. NBA kicking off here. We get college football kicking off here in the next about an hour, so that's fantastic. Oh boy. And the Suns are down 47-33, and we took the Suns -3.5. Okay, we're going to need a strong second half here for the Suns. Alrighty, folks, we are out of here. Have a great one. We're back here tomorrow, live noon Eastern. Alrighty, folks, have a great one. Have a great new year. Have a great